Hey everybody, my name is Juan Felipe Gomez Cortez. I have visited Japan once and I love this country. I am going to present some facts about this country, Japan. First, the religion. Shinto and Buddhism are Japan's two major religions. The two religions complement each other to a certain degree. Most Japanese consider themselves Buddhist, Shintoist, or both of them. Religion doesn't play a big role in the everyday life of most Japanese people. People typically follow their religion rituals at ceremonies like birth, weddings, and funerals. Now I'm going to present the education. The education in Japan is one of the greatest. They follow their principles and their thoughts. Children must study at the elementary and lower secondary levels. Most students attend public schools during the lower secondary level, but private education is popular at the upper secondary and the university levels. In the history, the temples and altars offered free reading, writing, and arithmetic courses for the entire population. Now the holidays and the festivals. Officially, Japan has 16 national government-recognized holidays. Public holidays in Japan are regulated by the Public Holiday Law. There are many festivals in Japan which celebrate annually. There are no specific festival days for all of Japan. Dates are different from area to area, and even within a specific area. Festivals are often based around one event with food, entertainment, and carnival games to keep people entertained. The population. Japanese physical characteristics are, for example, the Asians are physically different in some ways than people of European descent or American descent. In almost all cases, Asians have straight black and black hair or dark eyes. They also tend to have less body hair, less facial hair, and fire faces and small noses. Sometimes it's hard to different each people from Asia. But I'm going to tell you what's the difference between Japanese people from other Asians. The Japanese face is generally longer and wider. The Japanese eyes are often described as bigger and aimed downwards. Japanese people value harmony and uniformity. Hence, when they dress up, they aim to blend in with the majority. When Japanese women apply makeup, they use neutral looking tones for the no makeup style. What defines the Japanese character? Group mentality. Japan's well-known propensity for putting the group before the self, and by extension, they follow orders from one's superiors. They are honest and they respect the orders, like I said. They prefer to do things by hand. They are polite. It doesn't only have a positive connotation. It's possible to remain too polite and distant from a person. It doesn't matter if you know this person from years ago. They are punctual. They are kind. One example of kindness is the custom of bringing a gift. This is usually food when you visit another person's house in Japan. They are hardworking, they are respectful, they are shy, intelligent, and clean. The customs in Japan and the manners. Bowing, like this, in Japan, people greet by bowing to one another. A bow can range from a small nod of the head to a deep bend at the waist. The table manners. The most important table etiquette in Japan is saying customary phrases before and after a meal. It is usual in Japan to make noises when you eat some noodles, or such as ramen and soba. It is believed to taste better when making noises when you eat. The shoes. Shoes are never worn in someone's home or on a Japanese tatami flooring. It is expected to take off your shoes in a restaurant, hot spring resort, and a hotel, etc. They have a place to put your shoes. I'm going to present some advices when you visit Japan. The Japanese don't have loud public conversation on their mobile phones. For example, they don't speak loudly when they are at the bus or at the train or a shop. If you want to go out to take a drink with someone, it's considered rude to drink before cheers. So always cheers. The housing. The housing in Japan includes modern and traditional styles. Two parents of residence are predominant in contemporary Japan. The single family detached house and the multiple unit building. Most Japanese live in extremely dense detached landed houses. The residential roads are so tight, are like 4 meters each to each. They don't have sidewalks and are occasionally blocked by power lines. The transportation. Japan is pioneering in high-speed trains. The name is Shinkansen. The network have like 2,700 kilometers of lines with maximum speed like 240 kilometers or 320. Japan is the world leader in car manufacturing. Japan car market is more regulated in the world. It is the single country where cars are taxed by dimensions. The models exported are bigger even if the car has the same name. The currency. The Japanese currency is the yen. Bills comes in 1,000 yen, 2,000 yen, but it is rare, 5,000 yen and 10,000 yen denominations. Coins come in 1 yen, 5 yen, 10 yen, 50 yen, 100 yen and 500 yen denomination. The entertainment. You can go to a game center, a theater or a karaoke, just go out to friends, but you can go to a stand-up comedy. Two famous stand-up comedy there are Mansai and Rakugo. Yosakoi or Come at Night, as it that translated. This energetic and exciting nighttime song and dance performance. The healthcare. The healthcare system in Japan provides healthcare services including screening examination, prenatal care, and infectious disease control, with the patient accepting responsibility for 30% of the cost, while the government pays the remaining 70%. So that's why I love Japan, and I hope you visit once this country.
Hi everybody, my name is Santiago Sanchez. I'm 26 years old. I had the opportunity 3 months ago to go to Japan. It was an amazing experience. I would like to share my experience in that country with you. So I was a tourist there. So I enjoy a lot of things, and that now I'm going to explain that things, and I hope you enjoy. First of all, I want to start talking about Japan's geography. Japan is an island nation. Um, it's comprising about stratovolcanic archipelago over 300 kilometers. It's along the east of Asia. It consists of 600 islands, and the main islands are Honshu, Kishu, Shikoku, and Hokkaido Island. The Ryukyu Island and the Nippon Island are south of the main islands in Japan. Japan is the largest country in east of Asia and the fourth largest island country in the world. Japan has the sixth longest coastline and the eighth largest exclusive economic zone in the world. The terrain is mostly rugged and mountainous with 600 forests. The population is clustered in urban areas, on the coast, plains and valleys. Japan is located in the northwest ring of the fight of multiple tectonic plates. East of the Japanese archipelago are three oceanic trenches. The Japanese Trench is created as the Oceanic Pacific Plate subducts beneath the continental occult plates. The continuous subduction process causes frequent earthquakes, tsunamis, and extravolcanoes. The islands are also affected by typhoons. The subduction place. Japan is very known for that problems, for the earthquakes or for the tsunamis, for example. And that is about, and it's caused because his location. So it's an amazing country, but it's dangerous living there. The climate of Japanese archipelago varies from humid continental in the north, Hokkaido, or humid subtropical and tropical rainforest in the south. This different climate and landscape have allowed the development of diverse flora and fauna with some great endemic species, especially in Ogasawara Islands. Talking about the territory, Japanese islands are covered by mountains, most of them heavily forested, and crisscrosses shores with rivers. Only a few of the rivers are navigable. Relative little of Japan's land mass is suitable for agriculture. Only about 15% the same land that is also most suitable for living. The population and some areas of agriculture are therefore concentrated together, and as you will see, if you superimpose, if you, for example, search some information in internet about the agriculture, you can find some information about that. It's very, very interesting. Talking about Japan history, Japan is, of course, a very historic country. The first human habitation in the Japanese archipelago has been traced to prehistoric times. The name of that period is Jomon period. Named after its Kon-market pottery was followed by the Yayoi in the first millennium, and when the new technologies were introduced from continental Asia. During this period, the first known writing references to Japan was recorded in Chinese Book of Han. Um, the history of Japan start in with the for example kingdoms. Japan is very known for that. Actually, in the actuality, they have a dynasty. So of course they have a king and a queen. So Japan is a very historic country. If you search some information about the Japan history, you can find some things. For example, the legendary warriors, very known as samurais, for example. Or for example, if you want to know about recently history, of course you can find information about the Second World War. Japan was one of the keys in that war, in the Second World War, and is very known for what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and it was a terrible success, a terrible thing in that moment. So Japan has a lot of history. It's a very historic country. For example, the dynasties. You can find information about the Nimamoto Imperial or the Kamakura Kingdom. That is the most important facts in the Japanese history. Talking about Japan as a country, for example, Japan starts or established his country in 1543. So it was very, very quickly, because Japan, since the beginning, has been a country very, very fast and with a lot of technology. So in this case, for that age, Japan was very advanced country for that age. So talking about history is very, very important. Talk about what I say, kingdoms, imperials, samurais, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Those are the most important things and facts in the Japanese history. Talking about touristic places, Japan is one of the most popular travel destinations in the world. It is a unique blend of traditional and modern, with many temples and buildings from the past coexisting with modern achievements in architecture and technology. Visitors can be immersed in Japanese history and culture one day and get a glimpse of the future through technological developments in the next day, for example. Almost all the historical sites are still used for the original purpose, while remaining open to the Republic. The natural beauty of Japan can be seen all year. In addition, Japan has one of the world's lowest crime rates, which makes it ideal for travelers. An overview of the touristic attractions in Japan are, for example, the Tokyo Tower is very, very known. The Hiroshima and Nagasaki Memorial Place is very very visited, very very known because it's part of the past of Japan, and for they this place is very very important. The Kyumisura Dera is a temple, is a dynasty temple in Japan. It's very visited too. It's like a big temple in a very small town, so it's a good place to visit it too. Other important touristic place in Japan is the Great Buddha of Kamakura. It's a big figure of Buddha, and it's very very important for the Buddhism. At the same time, it's a very visited places for the tourists, and it's very imponent and very very visited. So it's a nice place to visit. Other temple is, for example, the Todaihi Temple. Is one of the most oldest temples in Japan. Is an amazing architecture with a great space, and is around the big trees, and is so like legendary. Is between legendary and history thing. Is very very a beautiful place, of course. Other place is the Imperial Palace. Actually, the Imperial Palace is working right now because it's one of the most important places for the political thing in Japan. Talking about the sports, sports in Japan are a significant part of Japanese culture. Both traditional sports such as sumo or martial arts. I think those sports are the most important sports in Japan because they are very traditional. Then they have other kind of sports, for example, baseball or soccer. They are getting good in that sports. For example, in tennis too. If we talk about the most important sport, we have to say that the sumo is the most important sport in Japan. It's very traditional. Sumo wrestling is considered the Japan's national sport. For example, baseball was introduced to the country by the visiting Americans in the 19th century. The Nippon Professional Baseball League is Japan's largest professional sport competition in terms of television ratings and spectators. Martial arts such as judo, karate, modern kendo are also well practiced and enjoyed by spectators in the country. In soccer, is what I say. They are getting better in soccer. If you remember, they defeated Colombia in the last World Cup soccer. That was a nice victory for them because, of course, Colombia is one of the most important countries around the world talking about soccer, and Japan did a great job in that cup. Other popular sports include rugby, golf, and racing. Other sports like tennis, for example, they are getting better too in tennis. Now they have many players in male and female players are really really good right now. For example, Kei Nishikori, he's from Japan. He's a tennis player and he's in the best 20 or 10 players in the world. For example, in female players, maybe you can search information about Lina. She was an amazing tennis player too. She did a really, she had a nice career in tennis, and she was from Japan. So I think in the sports they are very disciplined, and of course the Japanese culture and the Japanese population, they are very known for their disciplined and for dedication, and maybe that kind of things make them better in the sports. So sports are very important for them. It's like it's a kind of challenge for the Japanese nation. So that is amazing. I'm so grateful for letting me participate in this documentary. Of course, if you can go to Japan, go, because it's an amazing country. For me, it was a great experience, and I really enjoy my journey in Japan. So that is my invitation for you, and if you one day have the opportunity, just go, because Japan is an amazing place. You can learn a lot of things about history, and it's a magical country, and really really is. So that is my invitation, and thank you so much.